New tax regime or old tax regime? Which one is better for me? Which will have lesser tax deduction? Which will have lesser tax payments? Which will help me save more? At Tax to Win, we are being flooded with such queries day in and day out. So we decided to prepare one comprehensive video to address all the common queries that are coming from our clients. So let's go to first question. So the first question is, what is the income tax slab under the new tax regime? So we'll start with the first and the most favorite question of all. That is, up to 3 lakh, there's going to be no tax under the new tax regime against 2.5 lakh in the old tax regime. 3 to 6 lakhs, there's going to be a 5% tax rate. 6 to 9 lakhs, there's going to be a 10% tax rate. 9 to 12 lakhs, there's going to be a 15% tax rate. 12 to 15 lakhs, it's going to be 20%. And above 15 lakhs, it's going to be 30%. Now coming to the old tax regime. Up to rupees 2,50,000, there's going to be no tax. 2,50,000 to 5 lakh, 5% tax. 5 lakh to 10 lakh, there's going to be 20% tax. Above 10 lakh, 30% tax. Now coming to the second question, how new tax regime is different from the old one? Point number 1, the basic exemption limit. The basic exemption limit under the old tax regime was rupees 2,50,000, and in the new tax regime, it is rupees 3 lakh. Under the old tax regime, basic exemption limit depended on the age of the person. Here, there is no such discrimination. Point number 2 is the rebate. Rebate under section 87A. So rebate under section 87A is allowed up to the income of rupees 5 lakh under the old tax regime. However, in the new tax regime, this rebate is allowed up to the income of rupees 7 lakhs. This means that there's going to be no tax up to the income of rupees 7 lakh under the new tax regime. Now coming to point number 3, which is the most interesting. No deductions and allowances are allowed under the new tax regime. The next question that we get asked often is, what are the exemptions and deductions allowed under the new tax regime or not allowed under the new tax regime but were allowed under the old tax regime? Now coming to the first one, which is the most popular one, which is HRA. HRA is not allowed under the new tax regime. Second, LTA, not allowed under the new tax regime. Third, uniform allowance, not allowed. Fourth, food coupons, not allowed. Fifth, travel allowance, not allowed unless you take some reimbursement for the travel for official purposes. Newspaper and periodical allowance, not allowed. Home loan repayment, not allowed. Investment in PPF, not allowed. Investment in mutual fund, not allowed. Investment in 5-year fixed deposit, not allowed. Tuition fees payment, not allowed. LIC payments, not allowed. Health insurance premium, not allowed. Now our clients say, if nothing is allowed, then what is allowed? Now coming to this, what is allowed is, number 1, interest on let out property is allowed. Deduction for interest under let out property is allowed. And under deductions, only deduction for contribution of NPS by your employer is allowed. Only thing that remains same is the standard deduction. Standard deduction remains same under both new tax regime and the old tax regime. Many people also ask us that what will happen if we choose the wrong tax regime or if we declare the wrong tax regime to our employer. It is always suggested that you make a complete analysis of your income and the deductions that you've been doing over the years and then decide your preferred tax regime. Because if you select the wrong tax regime, you're going to face the repercussions every month in form of higher TDS deductions, which means lesser in-hand salary every month for 12 months up till March. Now that all of us have understood the importance of choosing the right tax regime, we at Tax to Win have created a comparative tool which will show you tax calculations under both the tax regime. So do not waste your time. Go to our website and use our calculator and choose the right tax regime right now. The next question that comes is, what if you've made a wrong choice? What can be done now? So even if you've made a wrong choice, do not worry. You can change your tax regime at the time of filing your income tax return. So now that we've covered all the common queries that have been coming from our clients, if you still have a query, then do not worry. Contact us now and we'll be happy to help.